Hey, Blue Table fans! Today we're going to go on a fun journey. This is my Etsy favorites, and I've bought a few things off of here just for fun, a little treat for Daddy after a long week's work. And this is my favorites list. It's gotten pretty huge. I've just today started categorizing them. I have this fantasy that I'm going to run a science fiction role-playing thing with miniatures someday, but that's a ways off. And usually I just buy like fantasy things, just a few to add to my collection here and there. And it's added up. So these are all 3D prints. I'm surprised at how inexpensive these are. Like look at the scale on this. This is a 28mm guy, right? So this is probably like a good 8 inches across. And it's on here for 16 bucks. How are these people making money? Alright, one of my fantasy landscapes is a Yuan Ti like ruined city type of thing. So this piece looks pretty cool. It's not great when they don't show you the scale and you only get like these render photographs. You don't actually see what the finished model looks like, but that's okay. You know, these little companies are doing their best. Usually it's garage companies doing this. And so villagers, I've got a whole bin full of villagers that I've just picked away at over the years, but these looked really cool. I'd love to add these Viking maidens to the list. That'd be pretty cool. Here's another couple of villagers. This guy looks cool. Has some character to him. I like it. And cavern pools, here's more just scatter terrain. I actually have a lot of terrain I made that's dungeon or underground. It's really cool looking. And I've bought some stalagmites off of Etsy, and they were pretty good. It's hard to tell scale on this. Like this just has one picture. How big is this? Sometimes you got to go down to where it says learn more about this item. So yeah, it says it's 150 millimeters. So 100 millimeters is about 4 inches. So this is about 6 inches across. And so that's a little Etsy trick, is read the description. And let's see, little spaceships, a hobgoblin guy. Oh, these are like some cool cultist figures. You can never go wrong with to have some lackeys. And these are 15 for 3. So it's about $5 a figure. So that's right up with Games Workshop prices there. In the 90s, I was buying brand new figures, 2 blisters, or a blister with 2 figures for about $5 or $7. So quite frankly, in terms of valuation of the dollar, things have become less expensive over the years, actually. And I think that's something that people miss when they're assessing their own society a lot, which is the debasement or the integrity of the currency. If there's a lot of dollars in circulation, then the purchasing power can go down for each dollar. It used to be that $20 was pegged to an ounce of gold. And that's about right. If you look at the price of gold, which I think is, if I just had to guess, I'd say it's like $1,200. That's how devalued the dollar has come since it was unlocked from the gold standard all those years ago. Okay, so I'm about 90% certain that I'm going to be doing a Badlands, like desert fantasy type thing. A little bit of dark sun inspiration there. So I've started looking for things for that. And I gotta tell you, just on Etsy, and I'm sure there's other great websites for 3D prints. Maybe you can put some of those in the comments there. And yeah, there's so much on here. Like you could build whole alternate sculpt armies just off of Etsy. So these are $6 each, which is a good price for, you know, a fantasy thing. And here you get the option of A or B, right? Now, most of these drop-down menus, they have they have the option to get them all. So like, and this is 18 bucks. Granted, they're on sale and has 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. It looks like 11 figures on here. Probably not great quality. They probably print all of them in one giant scoop. So there's that. Let's take a look. Oh, these are kind of like, I'm into Edgar Rice Burroughs, like Savage Lands type stuff, and there's a lot going around about role-playing games right now about what themes should be allowed in them, either in a personal game, like a DM would say, hey, these are things that you're going to find in my game, make sure you're okay with that. And what I found is movies are good. So I might say, well, this is about as tame as The Princess Bride. Anything that's not in X movie, you know, it can't. You got to be okay with that to be okay with this game that I'm running. So like the old animated Heavy Metal movie, that's sort of the one type of game that I might run that's pretty savage. And but usually I run it about PG-13. So anyway, consenting adults and all that. When I've been looking at what's going on in society nowadays, I keep thinking that consent is important. Like, if people are consenting, then really that's kind of the end of the matter. This is a really cool insectoid dragon. That's neat. 20 bucks. Hard to tell how big it is, though. Oh, there you go. Well, this shows some pens, so that kind of gives you a scale. So what happens is if you paint the figures and send the picture to the person, they'll usually put it in their shop. What I'd like to do is find a shop to work with and paint everything they have in their shop. And so personally, I don't, which by the way would be a great thing for somebody's shop to do that. So I don't like things where you're only seeing part of the model. Like that's great for a diorama, but not so much to play with. Like, you can't move this guy around and be like, oh, his little burrow is moving too. I definitely do this. So anyway, full dragon, and then size. So gargantuan, does he even say, so that's $131. And by the way, this is all cheaper than Forge World for sure. And the prints aren't bad. So now we go down to learn more about this item. We'll find out how big it is. Full-size dragon is 275 millimeters tall. So 100 millimeters is 4 inches. So that's about 11 inches. 11 inches tall. That means that gargantuan one is huge, but it's probably to the wingtip, to the base. But that's still pretty amazing. And I love it. You can get different sizes of things. This is great. And I got to tell you, this is the future. This is where you're going to be buying your miniatures. There's going to be an online shop. There's going to be, some of these guys are going to have like 4,000 things in their shop, and you're just going to pick up anything you want. One set that I'd like to do, I have a fantasy to make a complete terrain set of the old Frost Giant module from Against the Giants. And so this is pretty cool. This huge mammoth-headed creature, that's really, really neat. I wonder how tall this is. Select a style. Okay, so here's where I like it when they give an option where you can get all the poses. So 130 millimeters, that's about 5.5 inches tall, right there. So these guys are pretty, oh, and he actually gives measurements on it. That's nice. I wish all shops would do that. That'd be really cool. Let's see. Oh yeah, here's a Yuan Ti thing. So again, in my fantasy world, I do a terrain set, many of them, and have like a whole adventure themed around these figures, which would be really cool. And what else? My wife just came through. She just snuck through. Ah, she's so awesome. All right. So yeah, that one's pretty cool. Oh, look at this. Abyssal something or others. Abyssal Maw Dragon. This is definitely something I want to run for kicks. Isn't that cool? Look at the head on this thing. It's really, really neat. hold on, that shows it to you in pieces. Oh, it gives you a model for comparison. That's really nice. 166 bucks. That's an investment there. So pretty awesome. Yeah, so I'm on the hunt actively for a 3D printing company to work with and integrate my services. Crystal Muncher, I like unusual monsters, and I like to reskin existing monsters as, you know, something that looks different. That way my players don't know exactly what they're up against. Preserve mystery. Not always. You don't want to always be mysterious. Well, this is pretty cool. $35. Yeah, I'd say in terms of Games Workshop prices, I'd say for the same item, you're getting it for 40 to 60% of what GW prices for the same thing would be. So it's about half as much. Let's see. It doesn't really tell me how big this model is. It just says scale. Scale doesn't help when it's a monster. Like what is that? Oh, approximate height. Here you go. 77 millimeters. That's 3 inches tall. So 3 inches. So this is about a 70 or 80 millimeter base right here. That's pretty good. That's a really cool figure. I like it. Let's keep going. Oh, So I subscribed to Dragon Trappers Lodge, whatever it's called. Yeah, that's it. And to get STL files, I had picked up a few 3D printers. They're currently out on loan. We got them running, but they have a lot of smell, and I just didn't want to have that. So anyway, but I could never download their files, so I was not. It was a bust. Dragon Trappers Lodge was a bust. But by the way, that's just me. I'm not dissing on them. They obviously have great sculpts. That's my real comment here. Coastal Quillback. So I like that their models are original. And here's another one. Hulk Beetle. Yeah, Dragon Trappers Lodge has a lot of cool sculpts on there. And they do a thing, so it's like you pay a certain amount and you can sell their files and print their things out and sell them. And I think what's emerging is a pretty cool business model. This is one I really want, and I haven't found it anywhere else, a Dimetrodon. And but the shipping is 24 bucks, because I think it's coming from, they tell you where it is, Mavs Miniatures. Let's go ahead and hop over here, see if we can see where they're from. UK, yeah, they're in the United Kingdom. So, oh, this is kind of cool. A little pterodactyl pulling a flying ship. Yeah, there's just so much imagination. It's so cool. I'm just having a great time with this. It's absolutely fantastic. Oh, I'm coming up on 13 minutes. It's going to be fun to do this. One thing I found is some things are like there's like mounted figures, and they give you a dismounted version of it. And thirdly, several poses in this case, and just the creature with no rider on it. And that is great in role-playing games. I'd love to run a game where everybody had a mount as well. That would be really cool. As a DM for a long time, I didn't like familiars and mounts and pets and things like that, because, you know, it's just another thing to keep track of, blah, blah, blah. And I realized how wrong I was. Because the mounts were really these great role-playing opportunities. Now this is kind of a Badlands type thing. So that's a third. So the Frost Giants, the jungly, ruined temple, snake men thing, and then the third terrain set / miniature set I want to make is a Badlands thing, a Dark Sun inspired, Dark Sun adjacent. And this is a really cool figure for that. Oh, so these guys can have weapons, and they could also be pulling the cart, because that's what they do. They can be holding a rope or a weapon. So yeah, this is really cool, and that's my big dream, is to have this amazing place to go, possibly where people will actually come out and stay at a Valhalla type arrangement and come and play some Dungeons and Dragons. Fourth idea, is to make an adventuring party out of all turtles, which are tortoise men, and there's probably about 50 different turtle figures on this for hero types, and it's really, really awesome. Here's another Badlands type hero. This guy looks really super cool. I love this figure. It's very original, great dynamic posing. Just absolutely love it. A lot of times I rebase these guys to have a slightly larger base. Sometimes people are still trying to get them on 25s. Oh, here's another Badlands thing. Yeah, we're getting into my Badlands section when I was looking for that. So that's pretty cool. A dwarf on Inix. Yeah, oh, I love this. This is pretty cool. I wonder how tall this is. It only gives one picture, so let's go ahead and go to the thing. Yeah, it just tells you the scale. That is not helpful. But there's a guy there, so this is probably like 8 or possibly as much as 10 inches tall. So, not bad. This is a figure that I actually have on the way. And this is by Raven North Prince, which is my current favorite. Absolutely love him. And I didn't get it in the largest scale because look at how long this guy's wings are. That's pretty huge. And I imagine this is more of like a mid-sized scavenger creature that they would find out in the Badlands. It's like a mosquito dragon. So this model's really cool, very evocative, absolutely love it. So you have these companies like Lord of the Print, and they basically just lease out the files and let other people do the printing. And maybe they do printing themselves. And so you're getting people with like banks of 3D printers, like 4 or 10 or even more, I think. And they just keep buying them. And I think, yeah, if you had like, I don't know, 50 or 100 3D printers, now you're in business. And the printers are going to get faster, and there's going to be color 3D printers too. That's definitely coming, and I don't like that, but we'll see. You know, life is always like that. You never know what's going to happen next. These guys are supposedly like wood creatures, but I'm going to paint them all fleshy and gross, and like demonic, distressed flesh. It's gonna be fun. I think they'll look really cool that way. They'll have like this really alien appearance. Let me close some of these windows here. We'll get rid of this, get rid of that, get rid of that. Yep, other things I'm looking at. The third one is to do like a little bit of a dinosaur land, lost world type thing. And this could be my Badlands thing too as well. Like, what lives out in the desert? Well, reptiles do. Reptiles do great out in the desert. And maybe you don't see as many warm-blooded creatures out there. So I just favorite things that look cool. This is 4 poses and select a style. Yeah, so here you would actually have to you'd have to actually have to make like 4 orders. You definitely, if you're doing this, you definitely have to go down to shipping, because you don't want to accidentally buy something where the shipping is really expensive because it's coming from overseas. So you got to be careful about that. And okay, well, there's tons more. Okay, so and now my 5th item is the sci-fi thing, where I want to run like a space journey type of adventure. Oh. Alright, anyway, that's just a lot of weird stuff. Alright. And, oh, I found these spaceships. These are insane. So, yeah, $481. Look at, and this ship is like literally over 3 feet long. And with a fully detailed interior. And it's in segments, but you can buy it completely assembled. Of course, it's $120 more, but let me tell you, that's probably well worth it for the labor that goes into assembly of these things. Like this isn't how it comes. It comes in pieces. You got to snap all this stuff together. It's got to be sanded, ground down, fit, glued. So, you know, there's that. They're probably doing you a favor. All right, and of course there's alternate sculpt things. I mean, obviously this is like a Tau type figure, a sawfish. And I gotta tell you, this thing looks really cool. I love it. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I think the future is really bright. I'm very excited for what's going to happen. All right. Well, I think I just hit 20 minutes. So thanks for tuning in. And I think I'll do more of this. Yeah, give your feedback. Tell me other shops that I could go to. Make recommendations. I'd love to hear from you about what you think about all of this. Okay, 3, 2, 1.